She filed a short but seismic declaration, and suddenly, the past that many thought was closed felt painfully open again. Angelina Jolie just told a court that she and her children haven't set foot on the family's French winery, Château Miraval, since 2016, tying that property to what she called painful events that forced her to separate from Brad Pitt. That single phrase, painful events, has reignited one of Hollywood's most emotional and complex breakups, turning what looked like a business lawsuit into something far more human. In her recent court filing, Angelina described her split from Brad as emotionally difficult. She said that after their separation, she gave up control and residency of all the homes they shared, including Miraval, to Brad, hoping that doing so might bring peace. But according to her, it didn't. Jolie wrote that she never returned to the property because it reminded her and the kids of those deeply distressing times. It wasn't just a house. It was the scene of memories she wanted to forget. Those small lines buried inside a legal document hit like an emotional earthquake. A single vineyard became a symbol of pain, a wound that still hasn't fully healed. But this story isn't just about a vineyard. It's about what that vineyard represents. Miraval wasn't just a business investment. It was their home. It was where they got married, where they spent summers with their 6 children, where laughter and love once filled every room. Angelina described it as a place that once symbolized family unity and later became impossible to return to. The same walls that witnessed joy were also witnesses to heartbreak. When she sold her shares in 2021, she wasn't just cutting financial ties. She was trying to close a chapter that no longer brought peace. But Brad Pitt didn't see it that way. And that's where things got messy. When Jolie sold her 50% stake in the Miraval winery to a third party, Pitt filed a lawsuit. He claimed that she broke an agreement, that she wasn't supposed to sell without offering him the chance to buy her shares first. For most couples, that might sound like a standard business dispute. But for Brad and Angelina, it was another public battle layered on top of emotional scars. Miraval became more than land. It became a battleground for control, legacy, and memory. Then came the claim that truly shook fans, the non-disclosure agreement. According to Angelina's filing, Brad allegedly offered to buy her shares of Miraval only if she agreed to sign an expanded NDA, a contract that would prevent her from speaking publicly about the events that led to their separation. She said that the condition felt coercive. She refused to accept that Angelina, who has spent years as an advocate for women's rights and survivors of abuse, had hit a moral wall with the alleged demand. She described it as a moment where she had to choose between silence and self-respect. For her supporters, it wasn't just a legal move. It was a test of principle. Reading between the lines of her declaration, you can feel the emotional weight. She doesn't just describe business details. She talks about loss, about the emotional cost of leaving behind a place once filled with joy. She mentions that her children haven't returned to Miraval either. The winery, once a haven of family life, is now a place none of them can bear to visit. It's not just geography. It's grief, sealed in stone and vines. You can sense a mother's voice in those words. Someone trying to shield her kids from old pain while the world continues to watch every move they make. Brad Pitt's side, of course, has its own version of the story. His legal team argues that Jolie's sale was unlawful, that it violated their prior understanding, and that her new business partners have disrupted Miraval's management. The divorce itself was finalized years ago, but the legal and emotional aftershocks continue to ripple. Pitt's filings suggest that this isn't just about emotion. It's about protecting an asset, a legacy he says he built. For him, Miraval might represent stability, something beautiful that survived when everything else fell apart. But for Angelina, it's a place she had to leave behind to heal. 2 people, 1 property, and completely opposite meanings attached to it. And that's why this story resonates so deeply. It's not just about a celebrity feud or a multi-million-dollar winery. It's about what happens when love, business, and trauma collide. When the very place that once held your happiest memories becomes the symbol of your worst pain. When the world expects you to move on, but every legal motion drags you back into the past. Now, let's separate what's confirmed from what's a rumor. What's verified is that Angelina's words, painful events, appear in her legal filing. The NDA claim, the sale, and the Miraval lawsuit are all matters of public record. What's not verified are the personal details that fans and media have speculated about for years. Those remain part of sealed or earlier documents. The rest, the emotional truth, is something only they fully know. Still, it's impossible not to feel the tension behind these legal words. You can almost picture the scene. Rows of lavender and vines in southern France. A sunlit estate filled once with love and laughter, now sitting in silence, locked between court motions and memories. For the public, Miraval is a celebrity property. For them, it's a ghost of what used to be home. And that brings us to the question that lingers at the heart of all of this. When the past is tied to a place, can you ever truly move on without leaving that place behind? For Angelina, it seems the answer is no. She left Miraval behind to protect her peace. For Brad, Miraval is something to hold on to preserve, maybe even to rebuild. Two stories, one wound. So, where does this go next? The court filings will continue, and the lawyers will keep debating over numbers and signatures. But beyond the courtroom, this is still a story about two people trying to rewrite their endings. A story about love that turned into distance. And about a mother, standing quietly, saying that healing sometimes means never going back.